Peace, peace, good people, and welcome to my channel. I am Nuku, the Horned Dakini, coming out to give you guys a reading. So come on in, because this could be a beneficial reading for you, okay? Newbies, hello. I hope that you do choose to subscribe and stay with me because you are welcomed here. I hope that you find some of my past videos and past readings to be resourceful, okay? My readings are timeless, so no matter when I recorded them, if you watch it, it's going to be something in there for you. They're timeless, relevant readings whenever you find them, okay? OGs and returnees, thank y'all so much for coming back. I appreciate each and every last one of you, okay? So, I was shuffling my cards, and I don't know why I got a sad feeling, right? Well, maybe not sad. Frustrated. That was the feeling it was a collective feeling. Because I always, I pray over my cards and I ask Spirit to guide me to what the collective may need to hear, okay? And it was a frustrated feeling. So I said, okay, well, what is this about? To me, frustration comes from when you're not thinking for yourself. And I've had too many consultations. I've been doing this for years, and I've just had so many conversations and so many consultations and so many readings where people who come to me frustrated are not frustrated at their own thoughts. They're frustrated at the thoughts that other people want them to think. But when they try to converse with me, it comes off as if they're angry at themselves. So I help redirect that energy, because if people begin to think for themselves, they won't be angry. It's only when you don't listen to your own gut instinct. It's only when you don't honor your own higher self, what I call the whisper, okay? And all my past videos, if you've ever watched any, you'll hear me say the whisper, okay? Whether you consider that God's voice, the ancestors' voice, interdimensional being voices, star seed system voice, it doesn't matter. It's all the same, okay? When you don't listen to that because you're listening to everyone else, that their chatter can drown out what you really should be listening to, which is you, higher you, overlord you, upper echelon versions of you, okay? So that's what I feel like is happening to people right now. They're frustrated because they have listened to other people all their lives, whether it's parents, whether it's, professors, that were very book, okay? Whether it was preachers, whether it was, you name it, right? We're really at a time, more than ever, where you really need to trust you. And I believe that's what's happening. People don't trust themselves because they're starting to question everything that they've been taught by someone else. Perfect timing to begin to pull back them layers, dissect them, research them, dismantle them if they no longer fit. Frustration comes from having too many other people's thoughts, doctrines, and narratives in your head, and you can't hear you. So that's what this reading is going to be about. This is who this is for, okay? So all zodiacs, all planets, all genders, all races, come on in. Thank you, Sweet Spirit, for using me as a trusted and true vessel to bring about a message for the collective that will soon be here to view this reading. Show me clearly. Give me information. Give me resolution. Give me inspiration. Give me empowerment. Help me guide these people into their highest and greatest vibrations. All right. Show me clearly. Knight of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. Two of Wands. The devil. The devil. 5 of Pentacles. And the 9 of Swords. There's that frustration. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Frustrated because you've allowed other people to tempt you into thinking how they want you to think. Do what they want you to do. That's what the devil card is about. It's about feeling pulled and binded by things outside of you. And whatever these things are, they know your weakness. They know that you put more into what it or they are saying and doing than you do into yourself. Okay? So let's start it off. Knight of Pentacles. That is someone who, I believe I'm talking to someone who understands everything that I'm saying right now. So I could be picking up on your past timeline. You remember when you were in this frustrated era of your life. You trying to remember what grandmama and mama and them said, but you're also being pulled into some type of new age spirituality. So you're teeter-tottering, you're vacillating between, should I stick with what I learned growing up as a Southern Baptist, as a Catholic, as a Seventh-day Adventist, as a Muslim, whatever, or do I, allow myself to be immersed into something new that feels right? Everything it's saying feels so in alignment with how I feel about myself and what I'm seeing, right? So Knight of Pentacles people, that's Virgo's energy. That's someone who is very self-reflective, right? That's someone who doesn't mind going into solitude. Introspection is big to the Knight of Pentacles. A lot of times the Knight of Pentacles is well, first of all, understand that the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight, in the deck because it takes its time. Virgo doesn't rush. And this represents Virgo. Virgo doesn't rush to an answer. It doesn't rush to a conclusion, right? Virgo energy, Virgo type people like to analyze, sometimes overanalyze, but nevertheless analyze. They like to put pen to paper and write it out. So I believe I'm talking to somebody, again, whether this is your past timeline or this is currently happening for you. The light bulbs are coming on and you're starting to think and write it out because you understand that, sorry, I'm looking at my window. You understand that some of the stuff that you're thinking are not your thoughts. So I believe I'm talking to someone who is trying to differentiate God's voice versus old teachings, old doctrines, old narratives that are old constructs that are just no longer needed. They just don't serve you anymore because they came from something or someone else. Okay, and I know that because here's the Ace of Pentacles, okay, coming out beside the Knight of Pentacles. You want a new way of doing things because the Pentacle energy is very practical energy, so it has to do things. It's not just thinking. That would just be swords. It's not just feeling. That would just be cups. It's not just doing. That's just wands. But when you're dealing with pentacles, it's doing, but it's not, let me find the right word. It's grounding yourself in your doing, where wands is doing, but it's more action-based. Action, 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 action. It's impulsive, it's intensive, it's aggressive. Pentacles, it is, okay, settled, grounded, and you begin to unfold in said thing, okay? So I believe I'm talking to somebody, that's what you're doing. You have found, I don't know why I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. I don't know why, that old blues song. Who is that, ZZ Hill? I don't know, but it just made sense to say that. But somebody has found their thrill. You have found something that feels right for you. You have found something that feels good for who you are at this very moment. So that lets me know that I'm talking to someone who's back in alignment with themselves. And that's because the Two of Pentacles is here, okay? This is an energy of someone who has said, I know that I create the life I want. Somehow you've tapped that. So I don't know if you've watched The Secret. I don't know if you've read The Kabbalion. You're into Hermeticism. You're into metaphysics. You've done something, whether you've watched lectures, read books, you've tapped some knowledge, and you've begun to apply the knowledge. You've begun to investigate, research, right? You've educated yourself, and then you are applying what you found out, because it's more in alignment. It's more in alignment with who you are. That old stuff don't work no more. This is a new way of thinking. This is a new way of gaining. Because I keep getting the word practice. I said practicality earlier, but it's giving a new practice. Okay, it's just giving a new practice, and this new practice is coming in because you've re-tapped into something. So I could be speaking to somebody who maybe you used to do something, and then maybe you got married, and your husband or your wife practiced something else, and you did that for them, not necessarily for you. And now you want to tap back into that thing you were doing before you started doing what they were doing. It's feeling like that. Or it could just be, you've come a long way with being in a religion. Now you begin to understand spirituality and the different facets of it, because spirituality is vast. So it's so many ranges of spirituality that you could tap into. So you have tapped into some of that, and now you are applying it. But I can tell that whatever it is you've tapped to has you feeling back original and authentic. Some of you have went back to your motherland spirituality, African traditional paths, okay? And I have an array of ethnicities that watch my channel. Y'all know I got YouTube Studio, so I can see everything. I can see who, what, when, why, where, right? And then I'm just a little witchy. I'm a little goddess, okay? So I can tell energetically who and what is watching my channel. Men, women, and everything in between. Anyway, I just said that to say, many of you want to tap back into your native beliefs, whether you're Celtic, whether you're Norse, okay? Whether you're Roman, whether you're Greek, or you just are pulled to these things. You may not even be those things, or maybe you are, and you're tapping it and starting to feel it just in different ways, okay? Listen, I resonate with Celtic paths, some of it, okay? So don't think because you are a particular race that other pantheons and other paths can't call out to you. Listen, we've all been everything, okay? Over and over and over and over again. We just keep on coming back, experiencing different things. And some of us are blessed enough, enlightened enough, blissed enough to be able to tap into remnants of things that we experienced in past lives, okay? So anywho, just said that to say, whatever you are tapping into now, it feels original. It feels authentic to you. It's more in alignment with who you have allowed yourself to become, or allowed yourself to revisit. And this is the version of you that you want to move in now. Very bold, very original, very authentic, okay? Sitting back in a place of power in your own life, okay? Now, let's talk about this devil, because the devil is in the details all the time, right? Devil card and the Five of Pentacles. I feel like that many of you are tethered to information that came from people that you once loved. and maybe they're no longer in your life. This could be more relational, right? Um, Others of you, as I mentioned earlier, are holding on to thought patterns and mindsets and doctrines, constructs that came from other people who were probably very dominating, very authoritative. So maybe you had a very domineering mother, domineering father, a domineering guardian, a domineering husband, a domineering person in your life, somebody that was militant and made you believe and think what they wanted you to believe and think. Okay, and it made you feel impoverished. It made you feel it made you didn't feel like you were in control and had the freedom to think what you wanted to think, study what you wanted to study. I'm talking to the kind of people who you were made to go to college to do what your mom and dad wanted you to do, or they told you they wasn't going to pay for it, right? Or you went to college to do what you wanted to do, but they were not proud of you because you didn't go into the profession that they wanted you to go into, right? So I'm talking about that type of having that type of hold on you. That's your devil. Now, I'm not calling your parents a devil. I'm not calling your husband a devil. I'm not calling anybody in your life a devil. I'm telling you that this is from an aspect, right? This is from an aspect point of view. These people are your devil because they have not allowed you, or you haven't broken away. Let me say that. Because, see, nobody can make you do anything. And when you do what other people want you to do, that shows that you lack self-preservation. Okay. And as I mentioned earlier about this being Virgo's card, many of you are going in and trying to deal with that. Many of you are going either have went in or you're currently in, and you're really trying to understand why is it that you are so tethered to these constructs, or why you were, just in case I've picked up on a past timeline, why you were so tethered to these people's, their point of view, what they thought overpowered what you thought. So I think you're dealing with that. But that's good. If that's where you are, because not everybody's there, but if that's where you are, that's good, because that lets me know you're doing the work. That's a part of that shadow work. Understanding why, well, just understanding thyself. I don't have to keep breaking it down. Understanding thyself, because I believe you got tired of this. Now, the Five of Pentacles speaks of an illness, whether it's mental, emotional, vibrational, okay, physical. Sometimes it can also speak on rejection, poverty, dis-ease. Okay, so it speaks on a lot of things, but I need you to understand poverty doesn't just mean the lack of money. Poverty can also speak on the lack of emotional intelligence, mental agility. Okay, it can speak on not having enough wherewithal in thyself to set boundaries with people who push their agendas on you. They are able to come in and infiltrate. Okay? Weakness makes you susceptible to a lot of things. And I think that's one of the things that you're trying to strengthen about yourself. Okay? And that's beautiful. That's right where you need to be. But this Nine of Swords does give me a grand indication that you've toyed with this for a while. As I mentioned earlier, because this is a card of staying up at night, not being able to really sleep. It also represents nightmares. It represents regret, guilt, shame. anger, overindulgence, the 7 deadly sins, greed, all the things that make you, oh, that would make a person regretful. Okay, regretful. I need you to change your mindset on that, though. And I believe many of you did. Again, the Two of Wands is here. So I know I'm talking to a grand portion of the collective, that this, you got out of this because you got this. You wanted something new. You wanted a new mindset. You called in a new mindset. Again, and many of you have tapped into some readings, like actual books, that have helped you formulate a new way of thinking, a new value system. And it's and you've also put something in place, some practices, right? So many of you, Ashe, have started meditating. You started meditating. That's a practice, right? You started meditating. Many of you have started to go different places. Some of you go to the water. Some of you go to the park, the forest, somewhere where trees are. For some reason, I feel like I'm talking to people who like to go sit on like big rocks, like little they're not mountains, but you like to sit on big rock. That's what my mind eye is showing me. Like you're kind of like the mermaids that sit up on the rocks. That's what I'm envisioning. But it is something about big boulders that you do. You go and sit on them. You connect with big rocks, I guess, okay? And ain't nothing wrong with that. Rocks predate us. You hear me? So I know that I think this has been a biggie for you guys, this Five of Pentacles. I know it has, because for many of you, you have not been in control of your own finances. I believe this person, this construct, this mindset, this pattern of behavior, whatever this devil is, because it's going to be so many different things for so many different people. But whatever it is, or whoever it is, has kept you under its thumb for a long time. So you were not in control of doing a lot of things for yourself, not just thinking. Like, I could be speaking to a woman who is married to a very controlling man. So he financially provided your lifestyle. So you kind of had to do what he told you to do, and he wasn't going to give you the bare necessities, right? You had to do what this individual wanted you to do, think how they wanted you to think, dress how they wanted you to dress, choose the religion that he told you to choose, right? And because of that, I think you stayed in a, situation like this because you weren't in no position to leave. You don't have your own money, or you didn't have enough money. You may have become accustomed to a lifestyle, even though it's sitting on the back of you being controlled and dominated, but you may have become accustomed to a lifestyle that when you sit and think about leaving, you know that you won't have access to that lifestyle anymore. So you're at that crossroads where you got to make a decision. Do you sacrifice being with somebody like this to tap into your own new thing, new practice, originality? Because whoever I'm talking to at this point, you're not original. You know it. You know that deep down, this is how you feel: lackadaisical, weak. You don't sleep good at night because you know you're not being true to yourself, right? You know that you are a shell of yourself, okay? So do something about that. You can. You're in a position to. I believe that I'm talking to quite a few of you who are, though. Something about this Knight of Pentacles makes me feel like you are creating different avenues, like you're creating the A, B, C, D. It's like you're not creating just one way of getting out of this situation. You're not creating just one way to unfold this newness. You're not just creating one way to begin, to live differently and think differently and do differently. you're creating a B, a C. Like somebody is reinventing themselves. And you have a plan, A through Z. You have a plan. And I like that for you. Because so a man, woman thinketh, so it is. And I believe that's what you've tapped into. You understand that. Whatever this new way of thinking, whatever this practice is, whatever this learning that you're doing. And some of you come to YouTube. Some of you come to YouTube University, and you've learned quite a few things. You've learned quite a few things. Two of Pentacles. So, a lot of Pentacles here. 5 of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles. So let me focus on talking about your money right quick. Because I believe that you've been given a new opportunity to create wealth, to create prosperity, to create financial stability for yourself. Okay? It is going to take you being flexible. You've been in a very rigid situation for a long time, whether it's a mental rigid, relationship rigid, something caused you rigidity, unable to move, unable to be flexible, okay? Again, whether it's a person, place, thing, mindset, pattern, behavior. You're being told in order to maintain this Ace of Pentacles, this new practice, this new system, this new material gain, this new material force, and to make sure that you don't get back into this 5 of Pentacles where you feel lack and impoverishment. You must be this. You must be able to juggle this new thing, those new thoughts, that new, that whatever those multiple streams of A, B, C, D, E, you must be able to follow through. Okay? You must be able to juggle and be flexible and follow through with whatever your plans are. Okay? Because see, you're creating this. This is your life. These are you threw away the old narratives, the old constructs. I think I'm talking to the elevated version of those of you who you were caught up in devilish relationships, devilish friendships, devilish, situations. And keep in mind, devilish just means something or someone had a hold on you, and it was able to always tempt you to stay in the situation because you lacked the knowledge, you lacked the education, you lacked the inspiration that you needed. So even if you ever tried to leave, it knew how to pull you back, right? But I'm talking to someone who understands that, and now you've been doing the work to not fall back into this. Okay, also, whatever you used to do back in the day to survive, those are the very things that are blocking you right now. So yes, I'm talking to a woman for sure. I can feel feminine energy in my mind's eye, so I know I'm talking to women. If you used to only date men who could provide for you, and that was the only reason that you dated them, so you were like a predator. You only dated men, you only messed with men that had money. That mindset is the very thing that's blocking you right now. That's your demon. That's your devil. That's your devil. You used that for back in the day to survive. You've upgraded from that. You don't need that anymore. You don't need that old construct anymore. You don't need that old mindset anymore. You have everything you need within you, or you're building it up. You're strengthening everything within thyself to make your own money, to bring in your own stability, to bring in your own security, right? So that's an old mindset, women. That's an old, leaky, molded mindset. Let it go. I'm not judging you if you decide to keep them. I'm trying to jog your mental. I am trying to wake you up. Just in case you stuck and you're here listening to this, I hope what I'm saying is jogging your memory. And what not jogging your memory, just jogging your mind, inspiring it, empowering it, enlightening it, that it is what it is and it is all that it needs to be. It doesn't have to be tethered to anything or anyone to be powerful. It's powerful all by itself. You just got to know that you are, that you are, that you are, that you are, right? I want you to think on purpose. I feel like many of you get readings or you come to YouTube to hear readings and you're only motivated while you're listening to the reading, but you do nothing else after the reading. Or you become a serial reader watcher because you need that constant stimulation of somebody enlightening you, empowering you, but you have to become spiritually independent. Come here and get what you need. That's what we do this for. Well, that's what I do this for. I don't know what other readers do it for. I do it to encourage you and to inspire you, but I also expect for you to do the work after the fact where you keep that momentum going, right? I need you to think on purpose and purposefully, because that's going to produce conscious results. Don't just do stuff for the moment impulsively. Always, everything you do should be intentional and deliberate and being pushed toward your highest and greatest vibration. That's how you break loops. That's how you break away from, that hamster wheel, okay? Showing more. 32 minutes in. Okay, I'm going to end this reading soon. I'm in the flow. I hope that you are feeling this reading. Absolutely. Getting back in alignment with your power. So Queen of Wands is the type of individual, everything that a Queen of Wands person touches, King of Wands or Queen of Wands, but because this is the Queen of Wands, I'm speaking specifically on this particular energy, but it turns to gold. Queen of Wands knows its value. It also knows the power of its touch. Queen of Wands people have a powerful touch. A lot of their power is in their hands. They can turn, those are the people who are really good with arts. They can turn nothing into something. Their hands are powerful, okay? People who work with their hands probably have a lot of fire energy in them. They are Queen of Wands, King of Wands type people. Their hands are magnetic. That raw organ energy lives in their hands. Those are your masseuse. Those are your mechanics. Those are your people who work with pottery and can turn some clay, some wet clay, into a beautiful construct that they can charge $4,000-$5,000 for, and people are going to buy it. Okay. So anywho, I really just said that to say, I know that I'm talking to someone who you may have laid that side of you down to appease this type of energy right here. You may have stopped doing something that made you feel very alive, very confident. It made you feel alert and aware and in charge and in control of you. And then this happened, whether this started as a child or started as an adult. This, whatever the situation is, right? Because this is going to be different for everybody. Whatever the situation is, took you away from this. But I'm going to take it all the way back to the Knight of Pentacles, because I feel like that's what you've been writing and talking about in your journals. I'm talking to people who journal. You keep a diary. Maybe you make little YouTube vlogs for yourself, okay? So I'm talking to somebody who you're looking back on all the things that you stopped doing because of this person, this thing, or you're looking back and wondering, because maybe you never got a chance to even begin to do them. Some of y'all stopped doing these things, Or some of y'all never got a chance to do them, but you used to think about, Anyway, wherever you are on that spectrum, this Knight of Pentacles is letting me know that you're back. Your wheels are turning slowly but surely. You also have the mentality now that you don't have to rush, because slow and steady wins the race. So there's some, and I don't know why I need to say this, but some of y'all need to take your dog and go. Now, I don't know who that was for. Spirit just dropped it right in my mind. Some of y'all need to take your dog and just go. Leave everything else. Fuck everything else. This Ace of Pentacles is going to help you get everything else that you need. Take your dog and go. Okay? I don't know who that was for, but you'll know. Okay? I think I'm going to wrap this up. I'm 35 minutes in. I think that I have said enough for you guys to know. Oh, I will look at the bottom of the deck. I like that. Look at that celebration. That's 3 of Cups. Family, friends, community, ceremonies, ribbon cuttings, engagements. Somebody's celebrating you. And these people that are celebrating you have probably been with you since the very beginning. So they are elated to see that you have broken the binds and broken the chains and untethered yourself to whatever this situation is. And they see you blood and they see you blooming. I don't know what blood and I don't even know why I said that, but they see you blood. Why do I keep saying that? Why do I keep saying that? Because my mind is saying blooming, but my mouth is saying blood. Is somebody on their cycle? I mean, that wouldn't be a bad thing if that was the case. Are you watching this reading on your cycle? Why does the word blood? DNA. Lineage. Ancestors. Tapping back into your bloodline. Is that what some of y'all are doing? That's the practice that some of y'all are activating. You're tapping into your bloodline. Or if that's what you need to be doing, tapping that bloodline. I want to talk about this again, though. That was crazy because I kept trying to say blooming. Your people around you are excited because you're blooming. You're well. They're glad to see you away from under whatever said thing was, whatever your devil was. They're glad to see you released from that, and they're celebrating your release. I'm going to wrap this reading up. My mind is like, why did I keep saying blood? But I think I figured it out. Somebody's ancestors just came through me and said they need to get back in alignment, or they are in alignment. Like they was confirming what I'm saying. And by telling me whoever is, there are some of you who are going to watch this and you're going to know exactly why blood kept coming out. Because that was your ancestors saying somebody's tapping back into their heritage, their bloodline, their lineage. You're tapping back into that type of practice, whatever that means to you, right? I am going to conclude this message here. Thank you so much for being here. Peace.